I mentioned last week in my Friday update that I'd be trying to get something out to you each week. And last week's was a bit serious because it had to do with the fact that the Michigan Department of Education declared that they would not be counting all the work that their students and teachers had been putting in during this closure. And I wanted to make it very clear that Calvary would be counting because of the merit of all the things that we're doing. And in a minute, I'm going to direct you to another video that's on the administrator blog that is the backstory of this kind of cabin setting down in our basement. Now, I know all of you are probably attending your churches online on Sundays, and I highly recommend that. And I am not a pastor, and I don't intend to start delivering sermons and things like that, but I will do what I can do from here in our home. And there's two themes in that video that you're about to watch. One of them is the fact that God uses broken things. And at the very beginning of that video, there's a list of things through Scripture that God used even though they were broken. And I want to add a couple to that list. One of them is Moses. In Exodus 4:10 through 12, Moses is talking to God. "Pardon your servant, Lord, but I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." And we're told that it's possible that Moses had a stuttering impediment, or maybe just the dry mouth that many of us get when we speak in public, but he certainly did not think that God could use him in those circumstances. But the Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." So Moses felt like he was inadequate, we might say broken, not equipped to do what God was asking him to do. God says, "Don't worry about that. I use broken things. I use imperfect things." There's another verse in 2 Timothy 2:20 and 21. "Now in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but of wood and clay. Some are for honorable use, some for dishonorable use." I'll not go into great detail, but there is something in our homes made of porcelain, and that object has been made of porcelain ever since the Bible times. "Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, he will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart as holy, useful to the master in the house, ready for good work." So it's God who makes us as humans, broken, fallible, imperfect, useful for his purposes. And that's one of the themes of the next video that we'll look at. Toward the end, there's another theme, and that is the notion of past, present, and future, and how Jesus Christ and God himself is faithful in the past, faithful in the present, and will be faithful in the future. That's an important thing to remember in times like these. Now, if you go to the other video, it has to do in part with the history of Calvary Christian Schools and where this little cabin in our basement came from.